Well, hi, Catherine. I'm so excited to have you on our podcast today and be able to share a little bit about your journey to peace restored. So thanks for joining me.
Yes, well, thanks for having me. Good to
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun conversation and get to learn
Mhm.
a little bit about you and why you've decided to come along on this journey with us. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, when you think about your first interaction with Peace Restored and you learned about us, what was something that drew you to want to learn more?
Well, just I love that you're it's women helping women.
Mm-hmm.
I belong to a community of ladies already,
Mm-hmm.
in another area of my life, and I just have really grown to appreciate that so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we all go through certain things
You
in life.
do.
So to have that genuine and heartfelt support with women who may not be experiencing what we all
Mm-hmm.
experience, but on some level,
Mm-hmm.
we certainly understand. So just to have, again, that support, that encouragement, and just,
Yeah.
love is very comforting.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt by reading, I first saw about Peace Restored on the Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
the Mooresville Chat, excuse me, Facebook page. I saw the position come through, and I thought Peace Restored. I've lived in Mooresville for 2.5 years, and I've never heard of that.
Mhm.
So I got onto the website and I did my research, and I kept reading, and I thought, oh, well, I really like this, and that's where I
Yeah.
had learned, about the women helping women in your
Mhm.
mission and that. So I was very intrigued by that, and honestly, I just kept thinking about it. I read it, and I just I closed down the website and went about my business,
Mhm.
but I just kept coming back. I
Mm.
kept coming back. I thought, okay, Lord, what are you're telling me to go back and read more, or I
Mhm.
just stayed interested
Yeah.
in learning more, and that's what brought me back to finally apply for the
Yeah.
position. Yeah.
I remember the first time I think I met you in office
Yes.
and you had asked about the position.
Yes. Well, and that's funny how that happened, right? So, in looking at the
Mhm.
website, I noticed you had a Bible study,
Mhm.
and I wasn't, I had just well, I knew that the Lord was leading me to a new season of life,
Mhm.
because I had been my mother's caretaker.
Mhm.
So she had passed away in
Mhm.
January, and I hadn't found another job, or I really wasn't even looking for a job.
Mhm.
Honestly, I wasn't ready to just jump into something
Right.
new. I just wanted to take time to heal,
Mhm.
just take time around the house, maybe catch up on some things I hadn't had an
Right.
opportunity to do, clean out closets, that kind of thing. But so I wasn't even actively looking. But yes, so I saw the Bible study, and I had called, and I thought, well, let me do something very productive and
Mhm.
faith based, while I'm kind of going through an uncertainty in life. And that's always a good place to be, is in the presence
Mhm.
of the Lord and
Right.
in his word. So I thought that'd be great.
Mhm.
It's, new women, a different
Right.
group, and I love that. I love to meet new people and new women especially. So I did come to the office. I had called, and Taylor actually is
Mhm.
who I spoke with, and she says, "Yeah, come on down and buy the book, and
Mhm.
before the office closes." And I said, "Great." So I jumped in my car and I ran down here and bought the book. And yes, you and Renee had walked out of the room, and so you ladies were very kind. Well, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what, can we help you? And I said, oh yeah, so I'm explaining to you that I'm just here to
Yeah.
buy the book for the Bible study, and I'm excited. And in that moment, that's when I shared, hey, by the way,
Mhm.
because by this point, after I had seen the position or the listing, for the position, and I sat on it for about 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and I didn't do anything about it, but I kept going back to read the website. But so to come down here and meet you, and and then find out you're the owner,
Mhm.
co-owner,
Yeah.
and I mentioned, hey, I saw your,
Yeah. Yeah.
the job posting for that administrative assistant, and am I still able to apply for it? And that's when you said, well, yes, we're about to start interviewing. So why don't you
Mhm.
get your information submitted, and then we'll
Mhm.
see what happens. And so I went home in a fury to type everything up and
Mhm.
get it all together. And so that's how that started. And then I
Yeah.
was so grateful that you had called me for an interview.
Mhm.
Um, so I was pretty excited about that. And Yeah. So I just prayed about it.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I don't know if I should just jump into another thing
Yeah.
right now. Am I supposed to? But again, I even at night, like I would just wake up and just
Mm,
think, peace restored. What in the world? Why do you keep bringing this to me,
yeah.
Lord? But so I mean, it just felt like I was led here.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what it was.
Well, if people have heard Lisa's podcast at this point, they might be saying, wait a minute, Lisa was hired as the admin assistant.
Oh, good
And
point.
yeah, and so you were talking about applying for the same position and like, did they hire
Correct.
two? So here's probably part of the story you don't even know
Oh,
about your own journey.
okay.
So when you had applied, we had already given Lisa an offer for the job.
Okay. But
Mhm.
okay. I did not know this.
Plot twist, huh?
I love it. Oh, keep going.
Yeah, and so we had already offered the job to Lisa, but there was
Oh,
something about you.
oh,
And so that's what we both were like, she needs to apply. And
oh,
so we went ahead and pursued the interview with you.
yeah.
And then we ended up creating a position because we saw that you would be a good fit with us.
Well, golly, that makes me feel good, Anne. Well, thank you. I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, you know what? That just makes it that confirms,
Yeah.
right? That I was led here. That
Yeah.
that's what I'm hearing when I
Right.
when you tell
Yeah.
me that. So
Yeah.
that just is very heartwarming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so we saw in you pretty quick.
Mm,
You were able just to present very well,
mm,
and you're able just to sit in that space and hold your own. You just carry yourself beautifully,
mm,
and you're just pretty engaging in that way. And we
mm,
thought,
mm,
I wonder if, and something we've always kind of toyed with, Renee and I've kind of joked around how I needed an assistant for a long time, and it's been kind of a running joke.
mm-hmm.
And as you've gotten to know me, you know why
Yeah.
that's a running joke.
Right.
And but it was more of a something we just didn't think would be possible.
Mm,
And some things had begun to shift
mm-hmm.
here in the office, and we are like, you know what? It looks like that might be something we could do.
Mm.
And we didn't. We wanted to make sure um, there was a place for you.
Oh, I appreciate
And
that.
yeah. And so we saw in you pretty
Mm,
quickly that we thought you would be a good fit. And your
mm,
personality, I think, is good in the role that we ended up creating for, which is the executive assistant role.
mm.
Right.
Yes. Right. Right.
And so a few weeks after Lisa, you came on and you've been getting your feet wet. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the first couple weeks is a little bit of a slow roll.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think this week it's kind of speeding up quite a bit on
It
you.
is, and that's okay. This is good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's moving as it should. It
Yeah.
feels like,
Yeah.
and yeah, so that's good.
Yeah. And so, as you've been getting to know Peace Restored, what's probably been one of the things that you've been maybe pleasantly surprised about, or something that you've been, um, I don't know, found to be something that you didn't expect?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I wanted to interrupt this episode to share a little bit with you about Peace Restored. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Peace Restored is a non for profit, and we rely on support from people just like you. Did you know that if you donate as little as $2 a month, it could provide curriculum for a woman that we provide mental health care to? Or $4 a month would help us provide mental health care for a woman just like yourself or someone that you care about. So if you would consider supporting us in our mission, please go to our website at peacerestore.net. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode.
The first thing is and in reading the website, so clearly it says in the website that you do offer the counseling and
Mm-hmm.
support groups and various things like that, which are pretty typical for
Mm-hmm.
an
Mm-hmm.
organization, that
Right.
to help women through trauma or life experiences in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that was not surprising in
Mm-hmm.
reading that. So in coming here and digging in a little bit to see, for one, the amount of volunteers that you
Mm-hmm.
have,
Mm-hmm.
that was very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me that you're doing something, pretty amazing here,
Mm-hmm.
that people want to be involved,
Yeah.
right? And two, that there's a need in the community. So you're
Mm-hmm.
filling that need,
Yeah.
right? And then the types of just other support, I mean, if I may say it, like I really loved, I was very impressed with the handy helpers.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe you don't, I mean, I know maybe a lot of people don't know that, or
That's
is that
okay.
okay? Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, because that to me, there's so often times where women, whether they're widowed or they're a single mom, or you may be married,
Mhm.
but maybe your husband that's not his
Yeah.
expertise in fixing things.
Right.
Um, so just to have a crew of people that can go out and help,
Mhm.
just whether it's you need some a drawer handle
Yep.
replaced, or I don't
Pictures
know, just
hung.
little
Yeah.
pictures hung, or just
Yep.
and in my mind, because I've been in in elder care, right? My
Mhm.
mind is still kind of, my heart goes out to the elderly, right?
Mhm.
So, my in my mind, when I saw that, I was picturing a little elderly lady, whose
Mhm.
husband may have already, be
Right,
passed, and she's
right.
by herself, and that just breaks my heart. That she doesn't have anybody there to help her. And then there's people like you, or like the organization that has a group of people
Mhm.
that would go right out there and
Yep.
say, knock on the door and say, hello, how may I help you?
Yep.
And I know, I mean, that
Yep.
just,
Yep.
I mean, just, I know that little lady would be so excited, you know what I mean, to
Mhm.
have that help. Sorry.
It's
Um,
okay.
because they need that, and that just breaks my heart. So
Yeah.
I know that there's other ages of women that need that help too, but
Mhm.
my heart
Yes.
goes out to the
No, of
little,
course. Yeah.
the little elderly ladies.
Yeah. Because that's been your experience,
It
right?
has
You
been
saw how
right.
that was affecting your mom and everything you've walked through, and you knew you've seen that firsthand, so that does touch your heart in a special way, right?
Yeah.
And I love that we can do it's one of the we have lots of I guess programs or things that we do that we don't advertise.
Right.
And that's one of those ones that when you get behind the curtain, so to speak, you get to see like, oh
Yes.
my gosh, I had no idea that this was something
Right.
that we do. And we love that we can offer that for our clients,
Mm-hmm.
for clients that are with us. We offer those services where we can go out and provide help. We had clients who have had left domestic violence and they've had their places
Right.
torn up, and we've been able to
Sure.
send a group out to
Right.
repair things. So it's been all kinds
Yes.
of things we've been able to do.
Right.
We've we've done yard work and different things. So it's
Yeah.
such a joy that we can do things like that, like you're
Yeah.
saying, because it is a need and it's something
Right.
that needs to be done, because it's the care we do isn't just therapy or
Right.
counseling. It's so much deeper than that. It's people are whole people.
Mm-hmm.
There's needs more than just they just need to sit. Everybody has things they need to walk through and process through. But man, if we don't help them as a whole person, physically,
Right.
spiritually, mentally,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing a disservice. And we really try here to
Mm-hmm.
hit all those areas. We're
Yes.
not perfect at it, but we
Mm-hmm.
really try.
Yeah. And
So
I love that. I
yeah,
do. I love that very much.
yeah, it's
So that
been
was the surprising thing to me.
yeah.
Just those extra, yeah, the extra that you do
Mm-hmm.
provide
Yeah,
makes a difference, I'm sure.
yeah. And we want to be that for our clients. We want to be the stand in the gap to help them know that they're
Mm-hmm.
valued, they're seen, they have
Mm-hmm.
worth.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we probably all felt this when we go to an appointment of some type. We just feel like we're another cog in the wheel, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. It's another person that they're receiving services or whatever, wherever we're going. And
Mm-hmm.
we never want our clients to feel that here. We want them to know that they're uniquely seen. We
Right.
see them individually, and we create whatever they need for that individual person. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we've been able to create something special because of that. And I
Yes.
love that we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I
Yeah.
love that that's one of your favorite things that we do,
Yeah.
because it's always fun to talk to people, because there's always something different that
Mm-hmm.
stands out to everybody, because it touches people.
Yeah.
Different things touch people in different ways. So
Mm-hmm.
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you kind of think about, again, you've been here even less time than Lisa,
Mm-hmm.
right? And,
Right.
and so, as we just said, you're still getting to know
Mm-hmm.
your role, and because this is really a new role for us as an organization, we're still developing as we go along, which
Mm-hmm.
is um, fun and exciting and challenging, all the things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But as you think about your role kind of shifting over the next couple of months and weeks and maybe years to come, however long
Mm-hmm.
the Lord keeps you here,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the things that you kind of, when you look forward and go, man, I can't wait to see this happen, or I wonder if,
Hmm.
how do you think, what are some things that you might think about for your role?
Hmm. Well, That's a good question. Well, I see a two part to that.
Mhm.
I mean, my primary, focus is to actually help you,
Mm.
right? Um, while I'm part of
Yeah.
helping others or helping other
Mhm.
women, my primary goal is to help you.
Mhm.
Um, which to me that's very important because for a couple reasons. um, First, because in helping you, it's directly helping the other
Mhm.
people, right? Or the other
Yeah.
women, excuse me,
Mhm.
because you, in order for you to accomplish all that you want to accomplish with this organization,
Mhm.
you know that's why you have staff members. You can't do it by yourself.
No.
So for me to be able to be by your side and just be able to catch that overflow,
Mhm.
for you, helps you to go in those areas where you can build it,
Mhm.
further into the
Mm.
mission that you visualize.
Mhm.
So, but also, um I just value you as a person
Mm.
from what I've gotten to know about you so far in your heart, and the depth, that you have, for what you do here, that I would love for you to be able to get some relief. I mean, I know, because isn't that the kind of the catch 22,
Mhm.
someone with such a big heart and such a mission, right, can be a little burden sometimes. not
Mm.
not burden in a way that you wouldn't want to
Right.
continue the mission, but yet you don't want to grow weary in well
Right.
doing,
Nope.
right? So for you to have a balance is
Mhm.
extremely important so that you can go the distance,
Yeah.
because you don't want to fall
Mhm.
too deeply along the way. I
Yep.
mean, sure, we all fall a little bit on our journeys or
Mhm.
in our path, but to have those people beside you, all of us, not just
Mhm.
me,
Right.
but to help you go, get under your arm and say, "Come on, Ann,
Mhm.
we can do
Yeah.
this."
Right.
I mean, that's why it takes, it's we're not meant to do
We're not.
God's work by ourselves,
Yeah.
certainly. So I would love to see you,
Mhm.
have some relief at some point, and have some balance,
Yeah.
and so
Mm.
that's what I'd like to see as well.
Mm. I appreciate that. It's been a joy for me to watch as staff has come on because
Mm-hmm.
for a long time it was just me here, until really 2020. So for the first 5 years,
Mm,
it was pretty much just me on staff. I mean, we'd have a part-time person here and there. And then it's been so, well, joyful and such a blessing to see the Lord bring on more staff over the last couple of years because it's been like a shutting
mm,
for me,
mm-hmm.
as people have come on where God's been able to let me release some things. While
Mm,
there's still been some things coming,
mm-hmm.
um, those things have always been there. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like they haven't been there. It's just allowed me some freedom to do things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, I think that's again what God's going to continue to do as He's bringing on you and Lisa and some
Mm-hmm.
of the other staff that's to come,
Mm-hmm.
as we'll announce more in the near future.
Right.
That it's just going to continue to help us as a whole staff be stronger, which I'm
Right.
excited for that because one of the things that I love is that God's bringing together all these people
Mm-hmm.
and putting together all these stories.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, we all have a story. We all have something we've been through. And
Mm-hmm.
I always, and I've used this example so many times, so some people might get tired of hearing it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the Corrie ten Boom, excuse me, it's the Corrie ten Boom poem where she talks about the weaving together the tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about how of our stories, how God takes all of our stories and just weaves them together.
Mm-hmm.
And until even just a few months ago, we didn't know each other.
Right.
We didn't know Lisa. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't know so many people on the staff, and how
Mm-hmm.
He's taking all of
Mm-hmm.
these stories
Mm-hmm.
and throughout the history of time and just saying, I'm going to weave them together.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make you guys meet at the right time in the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to continue to make something beautiful to come
Mm-hmm.
together. And to me, that's fascinating
Mm-hmm.
that can happen because I'm telling you, your story coming along and Lisa's, as we just did too,
Mm-hmm.
and the timing when it's come along,
Mm-hmm.
you guys have no idea how perfect that timing is.
Mm-hmm.
and how God is just weaving these together in the perfect time, in the perfect way, to where we can just continue to lift each other up, to edify each other, to do more, to serve and to glorify His kingdom. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
That's well, and the word says that the Lord goes before us to make a way, so he already knew. I mean, he knows, of course. He knows all things,
that's
but
right.
and sometimes we don't have to know. We get bits and pieces. So even, as you asked me the question, what do I see? I can't even answer that for myself necessarily. Like, what would I see as my growing, at Peace Restored? I'm not even sure I want to even project anything or even, you know what I mean? Because I sometimes I get myself in trouble when I do that. I think, yeah, I see myself doing this and this and this. And then the Lord goes, no, that's not the plan. You get out of the way, but I mean, I just, because I can do that sometimes because I get very inspired. Right. So, but is it Catherine saying that or is it the Lord saying that? So I don't know. I feel like I'm in such a good place here and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do that I'm not even sure I want to know what that next step is. Let's just take, stay in this and grow. And, because I know the Lord is always preparing us for something, no matter what we're doing, big or small, it doesn't matter. We're always growing for a purpose, His purpose. And so I try not to get ahead of myself personally for those kind of things.
It's hard though, isn't it?
It is hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
There's things I think I want to do, but as far as being here at Peace Restored, I have that, I was going to say contentment, but I don't even want to say that necessarily. Not content in that I don't want to grow, but content that I know I'm where I'm supposed to be.
So it sounds like almost like a satisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't always had that in certain, environments, work environments or just church environments. I mean, let's be honest, I mean, just in all different places. So when you feel that peace, it's like, so
something's happening, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I'm just excited to see what happens over the next couple of months and just even the next year of how God's going to use you at Peace Restored. I'm excited to continue to get to know you because we've only known each other for just really a few weeks. But it feels like we've known each other much longer than that. It doesn't feel like it's been. No, it doesn't feel like we just met.
Yeah.
And you're already a part of the family. And so I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you trusted to step into something new and not even knowing fully what you were stepping into.
True.
Know, because I that reminds me of some of our first interactions. You had lots of questions, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it was, there was a lot of unknowns.
Right.
And a lot of things I couldn't tell you the answers to. And we're still waiting for some of that to unfold. And that's, some of that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So again, thanks for making time to be on the podcast today. And thank you for sharing your story and your journey. And I'm excited to see what happens next.
Me too. Thank you.